So Act 1, Scene 4 opens back at the palace, and that flourish, that's all of those, trumpets blaring, etc., anytime the king is entering, and Malcolm and Donalbain being his sons. And the king is quite interested in what happened to the original Thane of Cawdor. Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned? My liege, they are not yet come back, but I have spoken with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like the leaving it. He died as one that had been studied in his death to throw away the dearest thing he owed as 'twere a careless trifle. And so that's really interesting because this Cawdor had been a traitor, and it seems to me in this part of the story that they're saying he was really sorry and that he had deep repentance for what he did that was evil or bad or against the crown, and that he willingly gave up his life as penance. And I'm saying all that for a reason. It's going to come back later on in the play. So the king comments on that. There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. And so he had that trust, thrown it back in his face, yet he's sort of down about it, that he had to do, that it all came to this, that this gentleman has been put to death. But Macbeth and Banquo enter, and his mind has been put away from that. O worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now is heavy on me. Thou art so far before that swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. Would thou hadst less deserved that the proportion both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due than more than all can pay. And so he's very graciously giving him all the thanks that he possibly can, that there's not much more he can do to thank him, and yet he's going to think of ways where he can give the gratitude because he really has saved his country and his crown. And Macbeth is quite gracious. The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your Highness' part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state. Children and servants which do but what they should by doing everything safe towards your love and honor. So in other words, everything I do it for you. That this is my duty. My role in life is to serve the crown and his king. Macbeth is turning out to be a really good guy. He's really good on the battlefield. He's quite gracious. He's loyal, and he has service to his king. Welcome hither. So if whither was where, hither would be here. I have begun to plant thee and will labor to make thee full of growing. And so he's grooming him for more and more. Noble Banquo, thou hast no less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart. And Banquo has a very similar response. There, if I grow, the harvest is your own. So whatever work you put into me, it is only going to come back to you in my service. My plenteous joys wanted in fullness seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kingsmen, thanes, and you whose places are the nearest know, we will establish our estate upon our eldest Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honor must not unaccompanied invest him only, but signs of nobleness like stars shall shine on all deservers. From hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you. Now, I don't want to go over this too quickly. Just like how in Romeo and Juliet, Juliet has this arranged marriage quickened and hastened because she had been sad and there had been this death of Tybalt, and her father just wanted to ensure that Juliet was taken care of and happy. The king now, in having this happen to his country and traitors come in and this battle happen and he lost a lot of men and there's been a great upheaval, he sees it time now to establish his next in line, which is his oldest son, Malcolm. But everyone is going to benefit. Everyone who is deserved is going to have light shone on them, and they're all going to be rewarded. The rest is labor which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach, so humbly take my leave. And the king does let him go by saying, my worthy Cawdor, once again reiterating that he is having this extra role placed on him, which would be money and all that goes with it, all of the influence. But I want to go back. Inverness is where Macbeth's seat is. That's where his castle is. And I'm sure that you have had someone drop by your house with short notice and you know yourself that the parents go crazy, and maybe your mom has you run around the house and cleaning up quickly and everything is put into order. Nobody wants someone arriving that's important, especially, and here we have the king coming to Inverness. So that is probably makes sense that he has to go and let his wife know that she's got this really important visitor coming. But now he's got this little speech that he says to himself, and it has to do with Malcolm, the Prince of Cumberland, which is the title given to he who shall become king. That is a step on which I must fall down or else overleap, for in my way it lies. Now, just a page or so ago, he had established that fate could crown him, but he wasn't going to have any part of it. And now fate seems to be taking its direction, that it's going to go to Malcolm, and it's going to be someone that he is giving the crown to that's not Macbeth, and that isn't sitting with him properly. So he either has to accept that and fall down on that idea, or else overleap it. Stars, hide your fires, let not light see my black and deep desires. And so he is admitting to himself he's got these deep desires, and they're black. They're not good. And stars, the brightness in the sky, he wants them gone. That's going to come back time and time again, so you might want to write that down. He wants everything to be in darkness. We don't want people to see or be aware of our most horrible thoughts. The eye winks at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see. So he's going to a dark place, and he does leave. So the king, true worthy Banquo, he is full so valiant, and in his commentations I am fed. Still talking about Macbeth. He's just so wonderful. He is so good at what he does. He's so gracious that it fills him up. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him. Whose care is gone before to bid us welcome? It is a peerless kinsman. Peerless. He has no peer. There's nobody that can measure up to Macbeth. And then they all go with that same flourish.